the post plant to get rid of Jobu. My goodness. What an opener. What a start. We're
Oh.
already set for another great match here on Lair.
A great match.
Attackers
I mean,
need to locate
Solomon
and
putting
defuse
that
bombs.
4-0-0 in his KD, almost a 3-0, since it was a 1v3 in the situation. But how fantastic it was that he managed to execute off of it. Team Fraternity, in the end, with their own holes, with their own aggression, managed to sabotage themselves. In the end, it was a 1v3. The Valkyrie was upstairs. She was holding it nicely. She was backing off,
Attackers
not
have
going for too
discovered
much
the
gunfights
location of a
unnecessary, at enough HP just to confidently go into a 1v1. But at the same time, we have one down, and the mute is peeking the line time after time again, going left, going right, showing his head one time after another, just enough times for Solomon to execute off of it, to punish it dearly,
5 seconds
down
left
him
before insertion.
and his fellow teammate who's just bleeding out on the floor while this is all happening. And that's instantly conversing it into a 1v1, which gives Team 300 a perfect chance to go for a plant. And even those yellow pings as well, very unfortunate. They weren't on time, they weren't in the correct place, and in the end, the Valkyrie could not use her deagle to the full extent with that floor draining ability. But that's the previous one. Now we're going to keep on moving. Now we're not going to be seeing Monty from Team 300 since previously and it didn't do them too well, but we are going to be keeping that Striker, that Sledge, and that Thermite. Coming out with a Zero is going to be an interesting pick, especially with how much intel the Lion earlier got with his drone. They want to execute off of it a bit better, so they're going to be bringing out that Zero. Also, verticality, quite important. They saw it came out perfect earlier, so in case the Sledge goes out, you might as well have to back you up. But I'm just scared that they're not going to notice any Capcans along their venture down to site.
They have spotted the Captain in that direction. Should be aware of it at the very least, but they still gotta check the doorways. And especially on a map that you might not be too familiar with, it is difficult to tell what doorways you might be in danger
Attackers
from,
dropped
and
the
where you might
diffuser.
have to check.
Attackers have recovered their
Any
diffuser.
doorway that goes unchecked is a potential for a kill. As now there's a bit of a swing coming through from Fave, who's trying to find a challenge onto the soft wall outside. The Buck is long gone. He's already way inside the building. So Fave at the moment just waiting for an opportunity to present itself, but he has to make sure he doesn't overstay on that bridge connector, whatever you want to call it. Just has to make sure he doesn't overexpose himself. The mute gets spotted. There's a little bit of a head there. Solomon tries to connect the shot there. Doesn't quite manage to find the hit that he's looking for, but at the very least, it forces him to move. But it does also force him to rotate as well. So taking a whole lot of damage. Here he gets spun by Fave. Fave down to low HP as well. He's going to try and back off. But 8 comes through as well. D4 is able to find one. Look at this big retake off the top floor. Jobu shoots Leon in the head. Accidentally goes for the white swing, makes up for his mistake, and is able to get rid of the Sledge. The problem is there's another Jobu still with the Deagle in hand. He makes up for losing the 1v1. Not really his fault. It was a 1v3 to begin with. But now, after killing his teammate, he's able to find 2 with that Deagle. Big work with that. D-Force goes down as well to a long angle from the castle. Only down to Frollo. He's got 3 players to find. This is familiar to what his teammate was able to pull off earlier, but he has considerably less time. Just 15 seconds.
15
And
seconds
people
left.
holding him from
Attackers
below at the
recovered
exact same
diffuser.
time while his teammate is down trying to give off any information.
10
He
seconds
doesn't
to
know
go.
it though. There's one behind and there's one in front.
Attackers
Cassie peeks it and
Attackers
Cassie
bomb
finishes
diffuser
it.
has been
The
dropped.
down player and the finisher will be both going into his stock. Now with that, it was very quick. The White Wings coming out from the Valkyrie, a double kill upstairs, one of them including a team kill, very questionable, but continuing on with that push with the Deagle, he knows someone is low, he knows someone is there, and he has intel on them. While the Sledge, he's in a corner, just hoping that he's going to be getting that advantage on the peak, but didn't expect it. Valkyrie hit herself behind that wall, just crouching enough so he can't see the head, and manages to
Attackers
get
need to
a
locate
nice
and defuse
shot.
as many
And
bombs
like you
as they
said it,
can.
the Fraternity Valkyrie not having Jobu, having to be in a 1v1 and losing it even in post-plant, not getting that final line with 11 HP definitely wasn't good, but he made up for it with a nice double kill of his own. Well, consider it a triple with the team kill included. So,
All points.
Bit of exchange, yeah. It counts up to the KD in the end. It's A for effort, to be completely honest. But a bit of an exchange of rounds. Definitely one round going to each team in a similar fashion in a 1v3 scenario.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
one of them was thrown, the other one was a bit closer. So with that, Team Fraternity also wasted a decent bunch of time and actually starting to contest
Attackers
that
objective
verticality that
located
is brought
bomb
on
and
by
defuse
Team
it.
300 so quickly. What's so dangerous about that side as well is the fact that when you go for a verticality above site, verticality is instantly included by just going through one door. You go through one door, you're in the room above site. You can instantly sledge around. You can start smacking things. You can buck shotgun it. You can do whatever. But there's going to be a lot of contention from mezzanine, and that's where the trouble came out for the side of Team 100. This is where it really stalled them out. But we're on a different site, and we're on a different time. So let's see what's going to change around here.
Right, Papo, I know what
Bomb
happened.
located by attackers.
Melo wasn't on the Monty. I know that wasn't a factor in the first round either, but he was on the Monty and they did win the round. So just going off of that, play the Monty, win the round. So Melo just gotta get back to it, and maybe this time around you can do something with that big extended shield. As he now forces the player back already. This is careful that she doesn't get herself caught, and she gets caught from the breach. There's some feet holes, and they end up working the other way as Solomon is the one to find it. Pickup. And it is that Monty, in cooperation with his teammate through the breach, to find that first one, but Dave on a very long angle,
Attackers
able
have
to find
recovered their
Decoy. Now able to use that shooting launcher. Force back the Monty as well. However, he does take some damage for himself. He's down to 16. That also now is trying to go for a shield inside of the site. There's some fire coming out. Solomon somehow able to convert that Frollo, another one elsewhere. A 4v2 now, effectively. That also shield is down. He's inside of the site. He has an opportunity to potentially go for... Well, he can't go for a plan. Foxaby is the one with the diffuser in hand, but Solomon has a powerful angle to play off of here. It's going to be difficult to dispatch him because Cassie has to push up. As I think, unfortunately, we have lost the feed.
Yes.
What a time to do it. This is not the time to lose. So I assume it was just our observer dropping out, which means the round will continue. And it looks like that may be a... I mean, from what we can tell, it looks like it might be a round victory for 300. We'll get the confirmation when we get back in. So just very quickly, we have Fancy on the screen. Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm enjoying actually Layer currently because now I understand how Team 300 are trying to approach it, and we see a constant pattern now. We now understand that first time when they picked Layer, it was not by accident, and it was meant to. They seem to be knowing exactly what they want to do. They have been secretly practicing it, I guess, and they know what they want to do. And especially on the attack, their attack seems to be clear, and they know what they want to do exactly and what they don't want to do. Their approach seemed to be the flow overall seems to be clear. So what did you guys think of the couple of rounds we saw so far?
Well, I mean, the most important thing is that sledge into the building. Within 30 seconds, they had a sledge in the building making vert holes above the site. They definitely know what they're doing. And I totally agree with you there, Fancy. They are not picking this as a fluke. They're not just picking this because, well, let's not go to Clubhouse, because this map veto here went very, very different, and they still ended up on Lair. Partially because Fraternity also allowed them to. You always got to consider in a BO1, there's enough ban opportunities. And Fraternity said, you know what? No, we'll leave it open as well. We'll give you the opportunity. And then when it came to it, Fraternity was like, okay, let's go to it. Let's not go to Skyscraper. Let's go to Lair again. You guys just played it. Let's see if we can wear you out on it. Let's see if we can bring our own style to it. And Fraternity have won a round so far, and another one won by 300 was very, very close. It had to be a big clutch for Solomon. So both teams certainly are picking this on purpose. They have some sort of idea of what they want to do. It isn't as much of a just fiesta as the first one was. This is more coherent. This layer that we're seeing now already is starting to make a lot more sense, and I'm loving to see it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's as we were saying, it's now more clear what they're trying to do, especially that now they have done it again. And if you recall, before the stream started and we were looking at the map ban, the first thing when I saw the map ban and you were saying the map ban went differently this time and we still ended up in Layer, something I noticed, and I was telling you guys, like, I don't like where this is going because it feels it's going in the direction of layer, and here we are in layer. So yeah, it seems like they know what they wanted to do, and that's why we are in layer right now. So let's go in a little bit of a different question while we're waiting for the map to start again. Uh, Bob, what do you think? Uh, Here, what's the way to counter Team 300? They seem to know what they're doing. They seem to know how to handle such map. How do you think we should approach such team currently in this match?
Honestly, the best way is to go aggressively. Since Team 300 knows a bit more of the layout, they know what they want to do, they have their strategy already planned out. I feel like Fraternity right now, just like they did in one of the rounds, just like we saw Jubo getting that double kill as Valkyrie, they pushed him, they confronted him, they went up to their own site, up to their own strategy, and intervened. And they took that plan perfectly. So I think that's the best way of really going about it, is really just, if they have a plan, try to intervene as much as you can, try to set it off, because that's probably their main goal, and that's their only forward keeper. That's really the only thing keeping them from going forward. And if you intervene with it, it's probably going to cost them a lot of utility, a lot of men, and a lot of time, purely because even though that while they do have a strategy, I'm going to assume that they haven't had a lot of people who knew or intervened in their plan slash strategy that ended up with them actually being able to gain experience with adapting while going through it.
Yeah, seems reasonable enough. Uh, Reaper, how do you think, since now we saw that Clash is out of the way and it was done deliberately by Team 300 as what we saw in the previous match, how do you think Team Fraternity should approach by like struggle and make the Monty struggle, since the most let's say the most best solution here is not in the game, which is Clash. How do you think can Team Fraternity can approach such power by Team 300?
Well, I think so far they've done a better job because they're playing way more reserved. They're playing more of a layered game, so they have abilities to fall back. They're not just meeting the Monty head on and then sitting alone in a room with him, because
Mhm.
that's what enables Mello to do his thing. Instead, they've been going for fallbacks. They've been trying to cover each other. You saw that especially with Dave, who was set up on long, deep angles with that DP28, who was just trying to cover for his buddies to try and get in and out of certain positions, and they were doing a decent job of that. And I think the second thing, not relating to the Monty, but just relating to countering 300 on this map, what they've done a really good job on so far is the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie right now has been feeding so much information, and it's not being dealt with by 300. They have not yet brought an IQ. They are yet to really do any work with that. And these Valkyrie cams are just absolutely detrimental on the information game, because especially in that 1v3, Lion did end up winning it. Solomon clutched it, but he was constantly pinged, like in and out of the site. Even when he left the site to go up above, up the staircase, there was a pre-fire and a yellow ping from the Valkyrie. It was so close because they knew his every move.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to wait and see. The match is about to start again. We'll leave the match for you, our lovely casters, and we continue back into this match between Team Fraternity and Team 300.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to see a bit more adaptability from the side of Fraternity, seeing as I'm going to assume they haven't practiced it as much as 300 or don't have an inset plan. That's majorly going to be revealed when attacking. On defense right now, they're probably either going for default strats or something that is even used in rank, which is completely viable. Nobody would expect Layer this early into the stage, but if they do, or props to them. It's going to be working out, since Team 300, they're definitely in the second time going into it, just like earlier Aku with the Clubhouse. But again, it's a different map. Clubhouse, again, everyone knows how to play it. Everyone knows the default. Everyone knows the routes, the secret hidden parts of the map, and what can be expected. On Layer, you can expect anything, or you can't. It really comes down to surprises and what the team wants to do. And in the end, they can play complete nonsensical, and it can work just because of how unexperienced or how non-developed this map has come around in the competitive scene.
Yeah, definitely. I would like also to remind our viewers, since now we're almost at the end of our first qualifier, that the first team to win this qualifier will take 100 points. Second team will be taking 75 points, and the third and the fourth will be taking 50. Both of them will be taking 50 points. And remember, guys, that this is not the end, because every team that already got eliminated still has two chances more to get more points than they got in this qualifier. So there is still a lot of chances in the next two qualifiers, and in the end, it's still 12 teams that will be taken out of the all three qualifiers. So who knows? Maybe we will see teams that flopped this qualifier but will be more ready in the qualifier tomorrow or the day after. So we still yet to see. But since we're down to the top four, we still have a lot to see in this fight.
Yeah. And with that, also, that is the reminder, right? Both of the teams that we're seeing right now, they're in the semifinal, which means they're guaranteed 50 points. And they're currently playing for a chance at the grand finals, which will be 75 or 100, depending on if they win or lose that. And at the moment, it's looking all right because the other game is, the other semifinal is going on already. It is Psychopaths versus Besiktas. So the team that we started casting today, they're still in it. They're still fighting for it. I don't know if
Oh,
that game is concluded yet.
actually, I have an update.
Has it?
Psychopaths just finished, and they won against Besiktas.
Okay.
All right.
Well
So
played.
Yeah.
Besiktas going out with 50 points. That's still a decent result for the first qualifier. And Psychopaths now in the grand finals. The problem is they were complaining that they might not have time to play. So it could be that the winner of this game ends up being the winner of the qualifier simply due to a default. So whoever wins this lair game might take a whole 100 points out of this qualifier.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just currently looking at the game and thinking it might have been Clubhouse, because every game we look at would have been a Clubhouse, but this game was a skyscraper. But let's go back to our game and leave it to you, lovely casters.
All right, with that, we're back in it. 1-1. Nothing much else has happened.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Alpha,
as
was
many
it 1-1
bombs as they
before?
can.
Yes, I do. It was either 1-1 or 1-2.
Oh, well. Yeah, I thought just our observer crashed out, but if it's still 1-1, I think the game might have crashed as a whole for multiple people.
Oh.
Because we
That's
did go
interesting.
back on the round. It was 1-1 already when we dropped out of the server in the middle of a round.
Yeah.
So I don't think that one
definitely-
concluded, yeah. So
Yep.
it is still 1-1, so we're replaying this round here on top floor, because otherwise we would be going elsewhere. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate for 300, because they were set up in
10 seconds
a
left
prime
before
position to
insertion.
try and win out this round. Instead, they stick to the 1-1.
Seconds to go.
I can only assume that the players did encounter similar problems to our observer.
Attackers' objective is to locate a
Yeah,
bomb and
probably.
defuse it.
I'll go off with the assumption that this was a Ubisoft thing rather than a personal PC issue. Of course, it isn't too rare to occur, but in the end, we got it solved out. We're back in action, and we're ready for some more heat. And I wish there would be a bit less heat in my current room, because not enough of tissues or anything is going to get me sorted out of the sweat. But as we're starting to slowly descend, this is where we're going into that action I was talking about earlier. Going already in the middle of the plans, we have an Izami set up at the double door, and we're trying to contest this verticality in the very early stages of the game. Another thing to happen in the very early stages of the game is going to be Joby again with another kill for himself. Aksabi off the board, and that's going to be the Maverick off as well. At the same time, not only a good operator pick, but another character off the board. Now, still contesting that verticality, D-Force is going to be laying down, but in the middle, it's going to be Jobu with another one. That MP5 switching over from the Valkyrie is going to be serving him well, as he not only gets the Monty, but the Maverick.
Mello seemingly not too happy about that kill. Thing away from him. The Monty down again, not really sure how exactly it happened, but losing that Monty so far has been a detriment to 300, made it a lot more difficult to try and win out these rounds. There's already put Solomon in a 1v3 before. That might be another opportunity. Leon connects onto D-Force as well. That Kiba barrier comes out and he immediately swings below it. C4 to connect onto the upper shield. That Talon shield wasn't long for the Squirrel. Now Solomon has to dry push up. He's able to find one. Done big work inside of a previous round, and now he's already shaping up to similar things, but he's got a few more players to find. It's only down to him and Frollo. Got about a minute, and there's a lot of fire unfolding in front of his eyes right now. There's not much that he can do off this push, but he's not in the fire somehow. It doesn't spread wide enough. He's almost able to connect up to the Tachaka. It is Frollo elsewhere to cover the back of his teammate. Beautiful coverage at just the right time. Solomon now has to be careful. There's a bulletproof that is giving live information onto him. So he will most likely have to rotate, as he's also out of Talon shields.
Out. Oh. Alan Shields. Now, some Shimikas are still left in the chamber, and so are some bullets. Fave gets one for himself. Now it's left to Solomon to figure it all out. In another 1v3, just like in the first round, it's going to be a bit of a repeat. Leaving the side of Team for Fraternity in not complete HP could still be a possibility, but with 20 seconds on the clock, those Shimikas are going to be completely denying you out. And just going through the fire, risking it all, 30 HP. He gets the Tachanka double kill for himself. 15 seconds on the clock. He's going to try to contest anything he can, using the rotations of his enemies, but they're going to be hiding. They don't need to challenge us. You have the default camera, and also the hard camera just sitting around. The diffuser is not on your hand to try to pick it up, but Leon is going to be holding the angle and takes you out, slamming into the wall. That corpse at the end is definitely going to be meeting its fate. And with that, the unfortunate round going from the side of Team 300, conspiring from the side of Ubisoft, the crash turns it into the side of Team Fraternity.
You could definitely see the respect from the positioning of Fraternity. They were, like, after Fave died in the 1v3, they were like, oh no, it's Solomon, not this again. And they decided to just hold the diffuser very, very passively, just spread out, don't give him enough time to kill both of you, force him into either trying to stick the diffuser and then recollapse onto him, or try to find one gunfight and then not have enough time for the other one. So they play that beautifully. They play for the win condition, and they absolutely do not win anything overconfidently. The moment Fave goes down, they're like, nope, no, not doing that Solomon thing again. So very, very well done for Fraternity to just play that team game a little more, play that win condition, taking the game seriously, and not just throwing yourself at the last player because you think you can win it in a 3v1.
10 seconds to insertion.
Who would do
There's a few
that?
teams who get overconfident like that, right? I don't want to
5
name
seconds
names.
remaining.
Don't want to point fingers. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I would point fingers at half the team
You have to
forcing
locate a bomb.
how everyone plays the game.
True. There are certain moments that could definitely show a way that the T4 community is around how they're rough around the edges, but you know, didn't let it happen again, and that's the main part about it. Fraternity second round going to them, and fourth round initiating now. Seeing Classic Mellow back on that Monty, he's really loving it, and Solomon right next to sight. Now he managed to open those barricades up for himself, and Fave managed to open it up onto D4s. That's going to be one off the board. The Brava mentioned earlier, a bit of a weird character to be picked out here, but again, with what is rocked on Team Fraternity, that Capcan could be hacked, those Jaegers as well, but that's about it. Now continuing on towards it, Capitao has taken advantage of having all this area to himself and just managed to secure his team down below, lead them right next to sight, but now they need to get through this unblockable line of defense.
Alright, trying to get rid of this castle barricade. As Monty will try and give some more cover out as well. And uses Selma to open that up. Making sure that that castle barricade will be dealt with. Now there's a castle in that corner, so they will have to be careful, but if the Monty... Oh no! Mello walked right past that. They have no idea that Cassie is in this corner. He swings out at the right time. He should be able to find at least one, because Solomon is using his gadgets right now. He's got his utility out. Cassie is playing the long game. Here we go. As the player, bit of trigger discipline. Lets the first player run in. He'll be able to find the second. Foxity is there with the trade. It's a good reaction from the players. Monty now has that threat removed from him. Foxity pushes in, is able to get the Capcan. Leon down to 5 HP as well. It's a 3v3. And Fraternity lost a decent bit of side control. There's 2 Capcans here and a bit of damage done onto the Jaeger. On a long angle for Mello. Plant gets stuck out. Already down as the Ace now puts it into a post-plant. Foxaby and Frollo retreating. Leaving it down to the Monty to give him some information. Going up above is Leon. But They're gonna run out of time.
Out of time, and Fave gets down in the meanwhile. Sissig, Mello gets one for himself. Leon now after board, putting a bit less pressure on the attackers as they need to hold less handles. And another one, a grenade kill was perfectly timed and executed one as Slurper gets one for his fallen teammates, but Rolo will be able to finish the job, just waiting there by his breach, waiting by the defuse, the Jaeger not expecting it, and finishing it off. Now, I was expecting the castle to be a bit more patient. If he would just stick around, not go for the first kill and one kill only, he might have actually gotten away with a double, even a triple kill, since if the Capitao walks in safe, surely there's not a random castle to the close right of this door. The sledge walks in, maybe someone follows, and it's game over basically, but not having that patience, he's going to be going for the trade. It's going to be the safe way of going about it, a bit of a gamble. Would have been stuck through with that patience as well, but again, gotta test these things to see how ready Team 300 is for the unexpected. But honestly, seeing what they went up against earlier in layer, I wouldn't be surprised if the sledge still swung around random corners just hoping to get a pre-fire for himself.
Yeah, I mean, I just appreciate how quick the response was. For who was it? I think it was Foxaby who was able to get that trade.
It was.
I was impressed with how quickly he was able to read into that to be like, oh, damn, there's a guy in the corner we missed. Let's quickly clean that one up.
5 seconds
And
to
so
go.
that shows very, very good team play capabilities because you're trading your
Attackers are
players.
moving
That's the
to
thing
defuse
that
the
you're
bomb.
supposed to be doing when you're executing into the site, because ultimately, if you either have a man advantage or if you're the one starting the trade, then you should come out ahead every single time. You should try to find a pick and then trade your way to success. That is how Siege works. That is simply a numbers game. That's a very quick 5 is greater than 4. And I think everybody will agree with that. We're not supposed to do math on stream, but such simple math I think we can get away with. Just keep that in, and so I love to see that they're playing close enough around one another, and they've got their heads in the game, you know, they're paying attention. Speaking of paying attention, Mello, he's off the Monty now, he's on to the Thermite, but he's able to get a kill regardless of that. Again, another close. That opens up the round for 300 as they now have a bit of control as Mello finds the second. Once again, another one. He's just chaining them together. Solomon with another. Now Slurpee finally onto Solomon is able to get at least one trade back in the favor of Fraternity, but the plant is coming through. It's only been a minute into the round. 300. Calm down. Leon, calm down. Get 3 for himself. And it leaves it all up to D-Force. Leon out of nowhere. They were into the site so quickly and D-Force wins it. 300. They started executing a minute into the round. Leon absolutely slams 3 different players. And 300, just with 1 player left, just D-Force is able to clutch it out once again. Fraternity. That is so close.
Oh, okay. Leon going into sight. One mag is all I need, and that's exactly what he used. He goes for a far-range gunfight, he wins it, SMG-11. He goes for the second, flicks right before he's taken out, but in the end, Team Fraternity is left with a 1v1 situation, and the Jaeger will be vaulting the second final player, the final player, D-Force, I do believe it was, drops down the hatch and aims on his head, taking him out and getting Team 300 their 3rd round. Now, that was a quick turn of events. I mean, Team 300 managed to turn it for themselves for the better, and then Fraternity managed to flip it back. They managed to shoot and just deliver a heavier blow.
But you really mean Leon.
Okay, true, but we're gonna. They should be playing as one. That's how it should go. Play as one and play as Leon. That's how it is as of now.
We could get 5 Leons into the server.
If only. But still, amazing execute at the end. Very close. Too close for comfort. On the side of Team 300, I would definitely be shivering in my timbers if I was on the spectating line of their side. But in the end, managed to just get away with it. And I hope that if Solomon does go for this rush, he gets away with it as smoothly as Mello has been getting away with these Monty plays.
I was going to say, I think Solomon is just fanboying. He was like, man, that triple kill from Leon with 1 SMG-11 mag was so cool. I want to try that. He just picks the Amaro, goes with the shotgun SMG-11 combo, and he's like, you know, anything you can do. Here comes the Monty.
Oh.
But he can ADS. He still has a gun. You have to be careful about that Slurpee. You can't just run away. You can't turn your back on someone like that. Especially not with somebody like Mello, who's going to be able to win this, and Solomon won't be able to find himself. Gets himself taken out very quickly to a rat lurking down below. It's Cassie to find one tick. Takes minimal damage. Here's the Monty. Yeah, you gotta respect it. You better go back, Leon. He's in control game for as he's back to his classic things. I think that's what we'll call it that. Fly Mello, waiting for an opportunity to maybe bash someone over the head with his shield. Now just waiting for his team to show up, waiting for some of these firebolts out of the shooting being wasted. Opportunity to get themselves in, and there we go. They're given that opportunity. Leon swings too wide. Fox will be able to take him down. This allows Mello into closer into the site at least. Now on that rotation, be able to beat even
The
more.
attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Yeah, and with that, the Monty on board. Breaches quickly coming out, and another pick for Deep Force. Comes out from the Hound, taking out Fave. Another one comes out from Foxaby just as the Monty is about to get flanked, backs him up and takes him out right before anything could go wrong. Now it's down to Jobu. Managed to get it earlier. That double kill, he's not on the Valkyrie exactly, but he's peeking. He's looking for picks. He tries to pull out the secondary shotgun. He's looking the wrong way, and he shoots, but it won't be enough of a good spread to take out D-Force, leaving him just about the 20 mark on that HP. The shotgun, it's not good on that range. It's really good up extremely on close, or you aim down sights with it and deal some actual damage. But as we talk about it, Team 300 getting their fourth round, going to a 4-2 half-round split, as they are now switched over to defense. And this, we see Mello on that Cade. You know the ground is rumbling. You know he's definitely letting his presence be known as he pulls that AUG A3 out. But Fraternity, Gobu, he didn't like the Monty too much. He wants to experience the power of the Frenchman himself. He wants to put it in his hand. Last time he played the MP5, oh, he was a menace. But now he's given the power of the Monty, and let's see what he's going to be able to pull out with it.
Right, I'm getting a very strong sense of deja vu.
Oh, yeah.
As we've got 300 now switching to the defense, and immediately I hear, well, they weren't too happy with that Monty. And I see another Monty.
Bomb located by
There's no
attacker.
blitz to accompany it yet. We'll have to wait and see if that may become a reality. It depends on how well Fraternity, as they are spelled since the Rios, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed. I can't let that go unnoticed. I'm sorry. But it's
I just noticed it, now I can't see it.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Sorry to anyone who hasn't noticed that yet, but you will have to live with it. I love it.
Damn it. Just had to point it out. You just had to.
Yeah, I had to. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But, all right. Let's see how that Monty pans out. Bringing the smoke grenades as well. Add up down to 30 HP as here comes the C4. He's down to 17 now. How has he taken this much damage so quickly? Phone call coming in. Dokubi ringing out. Now, of course, under a lot of pressure as he's being called. He's down separate angles. Well, at the same time now, Leon's in the building. He does get shot down. Won't be able to do anything else with that. But Jobo's going for a plant. What is with these fast plants? Jobo's just going to try and stick it. I don't think there's enough denial to try and capture this. Solomon finds one, but there's two go in the way of Fraternity at the same time. A bit of a wide angle for Solomon to be standing on. Gets himself taken out by Fave. Now it's only down to Frollo. He's got no way to deal with this Monty. Has to try and run for it. A bit worried about Jobo. And this may well be around for Fraternity early on. Try and close this gap, as apparently we've got an attacker-sided lair on our hands.
An attacker-sided layer indeed, even with 17 HP, being halved earlier from 34.
Shaking his head. Jobo's shaking his head.
Look, he knows what's happening. Look at the Monty. He's just de-extending, taunting him in every single way, and now he's going to be pushing them. Even with that 17 HP, he's going to be getting through the round, harmed and not harmed at the very end, being very close, but my god, Jobu, you had one job at the very early round. Stick to that HP. But he gets down to 34 out of nowhere. Then he gets halved to 17, and then he still manages to plant that plant down, and he still manages to go through the round. Even like you said, he was shaking that head. He was telling him, no, you're not getting through my line of defense, and you're definitely not getting this round, as we're going on to round number 8. And Team Fraternity, is 1 round closer to evening it up.
Defenders,
Now
protect
3 to
your
4,
bombs from being
and
defused
now
by
going on the
attackers.
first floor. I believe this is going to be one of the rare sights, or one of the rare times we're actually seeing it. Most of the times it was downstairs, most of the times it was downstairs and upstairs, but this time,
Attackers have located
this
a
is
bomb.
where that amazing Leon shot came out. And you said it, you know, a bit of fanboying was earlier showed by the side of Team 300. Now we are having an SMG-11 from Foxy, but it's really up to the question: is he him?
Well, it's really difficult to replicate the performance out of Leon because, my goodness,
10
that
seconds left before insertion.
that was insane. And it still wasn't enough to win them the round.
5
Keep that in
seconds
mind.
left before
Oh, true.
insertion.
Fraternity lost that round. Still 4-3.
Attackers are
Team
moving to
300
defuse a
is
bomb.
still in the advantage. They're 1 round ahead, and it is because of that round. Otherwise, I cannot say Fraternity now. It's so strange. Otherwise, they would be in the lead, right?
Yeah.
So 2 big clutches out of Team 300. One of them being a 1v3, and the other one forces 1v1 as well. Just really giving a head start to 300. And the question is now, Fraternity, they have won their first attacking round, but was that just a fluke? Or are they able to match that performance of 300 and potentially take us to overtime, or even just close the game outright? Because so far, I mean, that first plant was pretty quick, and despite the Monty being on 17 HP, thanks to the new reworked impacts, he basically didn't take any damage from that impact being thrown right at his feet. Because those things have no range now. Like in the old patch, he would have died to that. Nice nade. Beautiful nade. Good job, Slurpee.
Lovely. Momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Momentous occasion as we celebrate the nade that goes wide and kills his own drone. Same time, D-Force does go down. That is relatively early. The Tubarao off the board. First call ringing out. Mellow Jobo gets a knife. That is the Monty just bashing somebody over the head. Jobo goes down as well. That's the frost down, and here comes the goal. Be careful about that. Slurpee makes up for his mistake, but there's a frost mat! We have another frost mat occasion. Solomon, classic Mellow. Both of them able to find 1 pickup each. Diffuses down on the floor. Solomon now able to try and hold on to this together with his teammate. Monty prime position to try and push onto him. Mellow knows how to deal with a Monty. Does quite a decent bit of damage. Jobo down to half. Careful now, any sort of might just lose his life. Oh, that was a Capcan trap. I think he's 1 HP.
Oh no.
That Monty is down so low. Does he expect Solomon in this corner? No, he doesn't. Oh no. He really don't shoot him. That's your teammate. Please. Do not do that. They still have the diffuser. However, Solomon is stuck in this corner. They should know he's there, and the other person is being targeted by Deimos. So they know where both of them are. They know where Mellow is, they know where Solomon is. Here comes the swing, and the players outside the building and Favorite Slurpee stack up together to get the win for Team Fraternity, as they're able to draw up the scoreline evenly 4-4.
Each one in a final 1v1 with the Capcan and the Bandit will be taking the round. Amazing run coming out. Fraternity having a bit of a unfortunate turn of events with that Capcan directly in sight. Monty walking through it and going from 61 directly to that Uno, barely handling it. Although in the end it didn't matter. Even if he did peek around that same corner with 61 HP, there were more than 1 bullet coming out in his back, and that was definitely one way to finish him off. But in the end, we're evened up now. We went from 4-2 for Team 300 to 4-4, which means we're going to be going upstairs. We're going to be going through another almost completed 3-round cycle. And at the same time, we're going to be soon into the final possible round. This is where it's going to get to that 5-5, 6-5, where it's really going to depend on which team can possibly close it out. If not, of course, we're going to go to overtime, where it's going to be a second chance for whoever manages to even it out yet again. But in the end, we're going upstairs. Let's see the setup. And this, in the very early rounds, we saw nothing around the side of, I do believe that is called operational room. So let's call it up. In the side of up, verticality, Sledge came in, started doing the job, no contention. Now we have zombies, Tachankas, rotates, we have reinforcements, and entire setup based around it. So if anyone, even hatches are open for rotates, or if anyone tries to peek around that rotation from the right side. So, in reality, everything that's based around there is going to be completely shut out for Fraternity. In the meanwhile, while they're trying to push the opposite side of it, they're going to be going for the long haul, where they're going to be going for the double 90 on the side, just to kind of push behind and really start forcing out those Shamikas to come out in the early round. You see right now, a very early pick comes out from Leon. That one-tap MK14,
Bomb
nasty.
located by attacker.
Also gets the phone in hand. We'll be able to call in some major intel through those default cams. Slurpee, in the meanwhile, gets himself a second and brings it down to 5v3. While the HP on Dokkaebi is a bit lower, you still have 2 people. You still have so
That
much
drone's still
utility.
alive.
And John speaks away at the correct moment. Frollo executes off it and shoots it in the back again.
Still out to do that. Cassie able to find Frollo. No, so that is the Tachanka finally down.
Attackers recovered.
Took him a moment to get that drone. Was finally able to connect it after just absolutely shooting Jobu in the back. I don't know how he was allowed to do that. Fave now starting the plant. Does Sami have any way of denying this? I don't think she does. She's way too
Attackers
far
are
outside of the
activating
side.
the bomb.
Fox to be able to find one. Will be able to kill at least Cassie, but now he's spotted by those bees. Gets taken out by Slurpee. He's only down to Mellow. He's down to 20 HP. He tries to throw a C4, but the player's already rotating. Now Mellow is just waiting for a kill. He's definitely flashed this time.
Even managed to damage the Dokkaebi quite heavily, bringing it down to 15, but that's not
I
going to
don't know
matter.
how he does that
We're-
while flash. Like they were talking about it in chat. He killed the Dokkaebi while flash, and now he just did damage to it.
The spray and pray, that's the definition of it. Spray and pray while flash. And that's not going to get you anywhere, as he's not nor flash nor praying, as Fave will be delivering the final blow around the corner, peeking exactly as that bandit bursts out into sprint. Now, round number 9 going to Team Fraternity, and round number 10, as each time we're getting closer and closer. But, of course, it's going to be Lair, the most chaotic map of the day, getting a second, and the only second tactical timeout, as we haven't seen it on Clubhouse. We haven't seen it on anywhere else. Not Nighthaven, not Clubhouse, on Lair, where the most chaotic, monumental, nade, mind-blowing things happen. And in the end, this is where people really want to take into account that tactical timeout. This is where you want to do it. Whatever works out for you. If Team 300 managed to break this kind of streak that's going for Fraternity, and in the meanwhile discuss what's wrong and what's right, could be of favor to them.
Honestly, man, classic Mellow, a Monty main, a German team. They take us to Lair twice, and they take their tactical timeouts at like reasonable points in the matches to try and talk about what they want to do differently. I'm a Team 300 fan now. These guys
Same.
are great. I love them. This has been so fun to watch them play. And just in terms of what they bring to the table, they take tactical timeouts. They love their Monty. They take us to a new map and
Attackers
allow
need
us
to
to
locate
cast
and
Lair a few
defuse
times.
bombs.
It's so
It's
great.
great.
I'm a fan of these guys. It's
Same.
definitely big ups on these boys. I hope we get to see at least a few more rounds out of them. Doesn't matter if they win or lose. Of course, as casters, we're totally not biased whatsoever. Not even like I did just admit I'm a 300 fan, but no. Don't worry.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Whew.
But I do hope we get to see at least a few more rounds, and with that, maybe even an overtime on the cards, because honestly, Fraternity have been doing well for themselves. They've been winning some very important rounds, and I mean, my god, the mechanical capabilities of Leon are not to be questioned after what he did a few rounds ago. So
5 seconds
ever
left.
since then, definitely have to contend with both of these teams, and this is looking to
Attackers
be a
are
really,
moving to
really
defuse
close
the
round.
bomb.
Last time around, the 300, they were in a similar situation as they are right now, and they were able to close it out 7-5, so they won it in regulation. This time around, I think with their opponent being Fraternity, this might have to go to OT if they want to have a chance at it. See the conga line coming out again.
And the bees, don't forget about the bees from the Grim, which
Not the-
not the bees, and the C4 is gonna be coming out, and poor Jobu, not able to retract his statement nor his actions, will be the first victim of that 5-pound explosive, taking him out. The second victim is gonna be by D4, Slurpee off the board. That's gonna be not only the Monty, but now your flank watch, your prioritized flank watch. You are left down to the Heart Breacher, the Grim, the bees, and the Dokkaebi.
Right. That is still a lot of utility to try and clear players out of some positions. Here comes a wide swing. SMP. I'm not really sure why Leon chooses to play this one over the SMP-12, but hey, if it feels like he can do more with that, I'm not going to question it. So far, I have yet to see a kill come out with that thing, but I think he can make it work. Absolutely, go for it. Oh, that Kai, he could see the beret. He could see the beret, but not the actual head. Mind you, that cosmetics are not part of the hitbox. Not a
Oh,
diffuser
no.
a while ago, and Frollo, he gets a cap gun kill. Fave walks into that right away, and Leon, there we go. He's
Oh
able
my
to make
God!
it work once again. It's Leon.
Not again.
A double
Stop
kill
this
this
man.
time. He won't be given the opportunity right away to convert to third. He has to reload first, as Frollo's still in this corner. Should be able to go for a swing. Leon is ready for him. It is a triple. It wasn't as quick as it was last time, but it will still be 3 kills as his teammate is able to find
No.
another. Somehow Fraternity is turning this around. This was a round that was firmly in the hands of 300. They were able to get a C4 on the Monty right at the start of the round. They put this basically into a 5v2, and now they've turned it around. It's Kazi and Leon against Mello. We know he's capable with that gun. We know he can do it on the kite in the basement. He's done it before. He was able to get 2 kills there last time, but last time he did have some teammates. Now he's stuck here all alone. The collapse is coming through. They have an idea on where the player is. He's able to find one. Can he find the second? He tries to find the fight. He goes for a prone. Stands back up, and Mello wins it! A 1v2.
Let's go!
Unstoppable in the basement with the Kai once again. He's
Not
done this in the
biased.
last map. He's doing it in this map. It is not match point for Fraternity. It is 5-5, and we're going to see all 12 rounds of regulation.
Classic Mello is the Leon of Team 300. While Leon got himself a nasty triple kill, I cannot doubt it, I cannot deny it. A nice double kill coming out from one chaining a flick onto the other. In the meanwhile, also contesting someone stuck in a corner to his hard right. But in the end, in the 2v1, you really let him get that 1v1 situation
Attackers
while
need to
he's
locate
hiding
and
behind the
defuse
metal
bombs.
desk. Not only crouching, utilizing the space perfectly, just completely blocking any damage coming from the outside sources. At the same time, he gets one. He goes for the second challenge. Low bullet capacity, but he's going to be taking it. He takes what he's given, and he uses it to its max potential. With that, another round going to Team 300, and they're just going to be yin-yanging it around. One to the other, one to the first, and one after another. 5-5 is the score we're met with. Now, this is the most important round possibly in the entire match. Of course, if we go into overtime, that's going to be in
Located by
7-7.
attackers.
But
5
if
seconds
someone
left.
manages, or whoever does manage to win this, and gets the option to close it out, keep that in mind. So there's a lot on the line. And as Fraternity bringing out that Monty, Jobu has been enjoying it severely. We are going to be seeing 300 with a bit more of frost action, just like earlier, and I'm hoping it's not going to turn out a similar way like it did, as I mentioned earlier.
Honestly, man, everyone in my entire neighborhood now knows who Mello is.
Same, my entire
After
household.
that, yeah, everybody now knows who classic Mello is.
And
Man who
Leon,
clutched
of
a
course.
1v2.
And Leon.
And Leon. I mean, earlier, yes, absolutely. My goodness. D-Force with the opening pick, though. He's able to find one on the Slurpee. D-Force going a bit unnoticed inside of this matchup, but he's been finding some very, very important kills, and also that 1v1 clutch that we saw in the first half as well. So certainly a player that will need to be dealt with for Fraternity if they want to have a chance here. And he's also playing on the Oryx, so this will be the bane of Jobu's existence. Unless Jobu has teammates to back him up, which at the moment he does. There's 2 players right behind him. There's another player in front of him who's trying outside the building, so plenty of opportunity. How about Count gets spotted out? They're able to get rid of that. Get some information dealt with that Solomon could have used to potentially support. Swing comes through. Solomon gives away his position, immediately goes for just feeds over that information. Hey boys, Jobu is on top floor. He's currently moving around. They're going to start playing Bird on us. We have to try and do something about this. Half the round is gone. A bit of a spot onto the smoke. Going in favor of Fraternity as Fave just puts a few bullets into Foxaby, who now has to rotate away from that angle. And Leon! It's Leon once again. He's 11-6 right now, and he's able to find Frollo. Pick, and he's absolutely menace on this Doka. Was that a diffuser? Was that a C4? I assume that was a C4 on the main.
It was. From Solomon, I believe, as well. Now, One down. That's going to be Cassie. Not completely out, but barely just keeping it together. Finishing the job. Solomon, just like he threw that C4, he's going to be throwing Cassie out of the cast currently. Now leaving the Monty with the Buck and Dokkaebi to try and finish what they started. And Foxaby with that low HP is going to be hopefully preserving those canisters as much as he can. Starting to throw them out in this late game would be the way of going about it. Bandit is completely stuck between Sandwich. Leon gets a second. That's going to be a double for him in this round. 30 seconds on the clock. They're starting to rush in. The plant is going to be going down. Now a C4 is still left. Actually not anymore since the Bandit is off, but the smokes are coming out slowly. Not going to be able to take anyone out, but is going to be zoning out the smoke himself. The Monty is forced to push up, but he won't be getting anything. Babe gets one for himself. 3v2 is brought on as Jobu is getting taken off the board. Now it's left to Foxaby and D-Force. Oryx completely going ham, but getting taken out by Leon as it's left down to Foxaby. Very low HP on hand. Verticalities from above. He does have a canister left. Maybe smoke out Dokkaebi, but it's already too late. She's inside, dropping him down to 4 HP. And with 14 seconds on the clock, half of that is needed for the fuse. As Leon, the hottest character of Resident Evil and the hottest character on Team Fraternity. Oh my goodness.
He was 4 HP. He wasn't gonna win that, but still, I don't know why you sprint. You have a yellow ping on the guy. Just
Yeah.
like keep your gun up, please.
Oh.
Regardless
Well,
of that, that was a
6-5.
good plant execute. The smoke canister, I think, kind of denying the Valkyrie from getting back in the building. I think the Valk was stuck outside because of the smoke, because she was kind of low and she couldn't deal with the Monty either. She could barely see him because he was planting inside of a smoke that he
Attackers
himself
need to
threw. So
locate
good
and
job from
defuse as many
Jobu,
bombs as they can.
putting that into a post-plant situation and reading the room correctly, allowing his teammate from up above, Buck, just playing a bit of vert. From there, it's really, really difficult to try and defuse. You have to kill that guy on the verts, either by retaking up above, which takes ages on this map, or by trying to just win the gunfight on a vert while you're defusing, which you need at least 2 people for. So the moment it was down to Foxaby, it was not going to really be winnable for the most part. And with that, Fraternity put themselves onto match point. This is an opportunity for them to close it out.
10 seconds
But
to
of course,
insertion.
300. They know what they're doing on this map. At least so far, it seems like it.
Bomb
Their
located
tactical
by
timeouts
attackers.
seem to
5 seconds
correspond
to
to that.
insertion.
And they will have an opportunity to try and put us into OT. Potentially 2 or maybe even 3 more juicy rounds of Lair, because so far this has been hella entertaining.
True. Couldn't be more true than what you just said. Absolute truth was spoken and spoken. Now a spawn peak will be contested, and a very aggressive one at that, trying to risk it all. But again, no contestation from the enemy team, not going to be expected, as we're going to continue with our regular scheduling. Now, of course, bringing that Monty back, like always, we're also going to be keeping that Oryx for D-Force. Did work out well for him, and those smokes, but it didn't work out too well for the Valkyrie, so we're going to be taking him off board, at least for now. But in Fraternity, not changing much in the roster. They have the Dokkaebi, they have the Zamos, they have the Buck, the Ace, the Monty, the normal 5-stack they've been running, the more maybe exchanging it every now and then, depending on the site. But not much change, and these teams are settled in. They're ready with their strats, and Team Fraternity is all or nothing right now. They can take it, but they just need to play it correctly enough to do so. Team 300, on the other hand, need to deny exactly that to go into overtime and give themselves a second chance. Now, as we're going for those verticals, as we're going for everything around, Oryx is going to be sneaking around the corner. He picks up one, and that's going to be Slurpee off the board. He challenges another one, but no one's going to be taking him in the moment of action. Now, knowing that the Oryx is lurking around, and he did manage to get away scot-free with a kill up his sleeve, he's going to be retreating safely, just enough to keep the man advantage for his team.
Right, that's C4 just being pre-ripped by multiple times allows the opportunity for the Monty to be scared back, as there's also more fire coming out from the Takanka, and D-Force is still down below, and he chooses to re-challenge Buck. And he's able to win it as well. Fave now finally able to find one back onto Solomon. Still in the favor of Fraternity. They're kind of stuck over here. They're pushing very one-dimensionally, and they're just constantly being fired off by this Takanka. Now some smoke's coming out to try and give some covers. Try and move some lines of sight. And of course, he's on a tear. He's got a triple for himself in the round. It's only down to Faith and Jobu, who are both stacked up on the inside. All of this fire coming in. Second smoke grenade being expended as well. 40 seconds left. Not gonna be a whole host of time. The monkey is in. Jaeger, you gotta be careful. Jobu gets one, but Mello takes down Fave, so it's only down to Jobu. He will have to try and clutch a 1v3, but he's got way too many players to contend with, and he would have had to try and make it against an Oryx. Shuts him down. That is a quad kill for D-Force in the round, and say it with me. We are going to
Overtime. Yeah.
Lovely.
Another bid being
High five
brought
on
out.
that.
High five on that. I would high five you, but in that sense, I would need to high five myself. Which, if anyone saw me doing that, would just think of me as a very lonely person, and I don't want that. I would also think of myself as a lonely person. Anyways, Rainbow Six Siege.
Leaving me
Hold up.
hanging.
Okay, hold up. Wait. Is this the right direction?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we're never doing that
Good
again.
enough.
Attackers need to
We're
locate and
not
defuse bombs.
repeating it, unless it's maybe where our cams could actually be seen. Because at this point, I should have high five down, which and on your screen, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Thank God no one can see this because I'd be hella embarrassed.
Setting up.
Oh my God! But overtime it is 6-6. Team 300 managing to still keep up with Fraternity as they can continue going over. But there's not going to be any more second chances. At
10
6-6,
seconds
whoever
remaining.
gets to 8, they're going to be taking it. Now again, this is a second chance where whoever wins this can also again take it. And then we can also go into another overtime exception if you consider it 7-7 and then for that 8 points. But if someone manages to take 2 for themselves, we're going to be going safe and sound without risking any 8 pointers and without going to a full 15 circle for this match. But I am seeing Zafia being gone out, which is going to be an interesting pick, especially when you already have the sledge. And I'm wondering what she could be used for, especially with Fraternity. They don't seem to have any Azami. They don't seem to have any shields, but yes.
Interesting point. Just very quickly.
Yes.
This was a very attacker-sided layer so far. Both of the splits were 4-2, otherwise we wouldn't be in overtime, right? For the attacking half. Fraternity were the ones to pick this map, so they got to pick overtime starting side. They picked defense, because they would probably have assumed that layer would be a more defender-sided map. That might end up coming back to bite them. 300 end up winning 2 attacks here.
That is true. That could be quite an issue for themselves. And let's hope they've spotted that up until now. And even if they have, they can't really affect it besides really focus in on their defenses, hopefully win it, then get transferred over to attack and win that as well.
Right, Mello at the moment struggling to push up because of that one goo mine. So damage done onto Silver as Solomon gets up on a high angle and is able to tag down the Legion. Monty in a different spot, another goo mine coming out to just try and deter him from pushing any further. Those goo mines just doing big work and keeping Big Shield at bay. Here comes the swing, but Fave loses this. He loses that fight. Solomon somehow able to win it with 15 HP left. Important kill for him to get. 1 minute and 20 left. Now they've worked a bit more heavily. They will also have to try and execute onto the side. This Monty has to move over just a tiny little bit. He has to move forward just 5 meters, and then he should be able to cause havoc inside of the site. Leon's still up above. He's got that SMG-11 again. Opportunity. The Monty ADS. He gets caught up by Slurpee.
Slurpee's going to be taking that for himself. Now it's the Monty that is going to be missing for the side of Team 100, not completing the puzzle of their team stack. They're going to be heading into the final few seconds, and Leon misses one, goes around. I don't know if he's blind or if he did it on purpose, but Jobu's going to be distracting them while Leon's going for an empty roam. Jobu gets one for himself. 3v4 is brought on to completely traded out, as Slurpee's going to be taking those words out of my mouth, and D4 is continuing the trend. Now we're down to a 2v2, and we have Fox to be and D4 just doing up against Cassie and Leon. Leon, speaking of him, gets one for himself. SMG-11 on board is going to be continuing it on, and D4 is now left with 34 HP, going for a pre-fire around every corner, and he's left down with 10 seconds. Now he needs to get it. He needs to go for that defuse, but will he be able to get in time without getting executed off in the meanwhile? Goes to the other side, rotates, but you have one from above, you have one basically behind you. He doesn't get the time, and round 13 is going to be going over to the side of Fraternity as they're going to be switching over to attack.
Leon walking past an attacker like 2 ships passing in the night. They had no idea. They had no idea. And that allows Leon later on to get into a position on a hatch where he even gets a kill. So there's gonna be questions on the side of Team
Oh my
300. They're
God.
probably like, how the hell did this guy get there? Didn't we have everything covered? There's no way that he walked past me there. Well, newsflash, buddy. He did. He walked right past you. Oh, goodness.
Oh my God! Such
Defenders,
a
protect your
fucking
bombs from being
Scooby-Doo
defused by
episode this
attackers.
was. Just passing each other by. Mortal enemies in this match. This could have completely changed the outcome. But I guess we're going to be missing each other. And, well, that's going to be around for Fraternity. And not only that, but if you said
Attackers
it,
have
and if
discovered the
what you
location
said
of a
holds
bomb.
true, Fraternity is going to be at a quiet advantage as of currently going into their possible round. They could go up, or Team 300, like earlier, could win it again, and then we're going into the final overtime match point. The title is long, and it's for a
10
reason
seconds
because
left.
we're on the 15th round if it happens.
The first
5 seconds to go.
round for entirely
Objective is to defuse a bomb.
100 because they will have to win the defense now. So far in regulation, it was
Yeah.
more of an attacker-sided affair, but a lot of these rounds were very close, so it's also difficult to tell. And at the same time, in overtime has this funny feature where suddenly everything you know about the game and everything that just happened in regulation just completely switches on its head. So you had a very, very defender-sided like game, and then suddenly in overtime it's 3 attacker wins in a row. For some reason. I'm not even really sure why. And I especially love when that trend really happens inside of Infinite OT and I think some of the best siege we've ever been treated to in some grand finals. I love it when that trend completely inverses. And we may just see that coming out here. That could be cope from a Team 300 fan. Don't listen to the man that's biased. But if it is suddenly defender-sided, it still favors Fraternity. Because if they don't win this round, they get another chance to try and defend next time around. 300 now, they need to win the next 2 or it's over for them. Which still needs 50 qualifier points, by the way. And they've got 2 more qualifiers to go. Sets them up for success. But they would rather win.
Of course, extra 25 points. Who wouldn't want that? Well, both of these teams are craving for it, and what's Fave craving for? Let me tell you, it's that D4's blood. He gets the opening kick onto the Oryx and is going to be starting it off quite heavily. In the meanwhile, some gunfights are coming out, some solo run bullets getting ready for the action. Now, in the meanwhile, as well, we also have the time ticking down. You have a minute and a half, and as the attacker, you have the Tachanka still alive. Getting rid of him is going to be, or focus targeting is definitely going to be a difficult task to go by, but at the end, he's going to be the one stalling you the most. In the meanwhile, a lot of HP is dropped to a total of the Twitch getting taken out by the C4. Mello with another classic and another flick onto the live Leon as well, joining that trend of the hot hands of each team, getting Solomon in the process, shredding him out, but it's going to be another drop. That's going to be Fave, now completely rendered useless. Monty trying to protect his teammate, but he's not going to be able to pick him up, as Fave in the meanwhile is going to be getting taken out by Foxaby. The Chanka Shumikas are going to be burning the Monty alive, but he's still sticking to that 41. Leon in the meanwhile, secondary is out, gets Mello in the meanwhile, which is going to be quite a strong 1v1 opposition to go up against. 30 seconds are on the clock, and in the meanwhile, Leon with a triple. Will he be securing the quad? Now it's down to the Tachanka to clutch it up, and the Monty's not looking too good on HP, but he's backing up towards him. The plant is going down to the Dokubi. He pushes him into the corner, and Jobu knifes him with Leon with a triple kill, and GG's for the side of Fraternity as they manage to make it. Not completely going to overtime match point, but an 8-6, a beautiful round towards the end, and a beautiful finisher as Leon is absolutely demolishing.
Man, what a performance just out of Leon alone. Like, not even considering the rest of the team, which was playing well too. And especially Jobu on that Monty trying to match the performance of Classic Mello. Those are big shoes to fill. But he was able to step into them, and he was able to do some big things on that Monty as well, especially now in this 2v1, able to find that last one. My goodness. Big round of applause for Team 300 for allowing us to cast Lair, for taking us there twice. I'm a huge fan now, even though they've lost, but they did still take it to OT. And what a slugfest for Fraternity, because they came off of an 8-7 on Clubhouse to move into an 8-6 on Lair. So they've been going overtime. It's a long day for them. And We'll have to wait and see if Psychopaths will forfeit their game, which would mean that Fraternity take a whole 100 points from this match.
Keep on saying Fraternity. The only team I know here is Team 300 and Team Leon. Those are the only two I have in
I thought you were going to
recollection.
say Team Fraternity again.
Yeah, I was thinking of that as well, but thankfully I didn't want to punish our producers too much off of that one minor mistake. I would feel bad. But whatever it is.
Producers? What did Rowan do to you?
Or observers, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
You know what I meant. But yeah, that is going to be leaving us with our finale, our grand finale for the qualifiers of today. And that match is going to have Team Fraternity in it, alongside with, I do believe, it was not Besiktas that ended up winning, but
Psychopaths.
yes. And that's going to be the face off of the Titans. One for 75, that's the loser, and one for one whopping set of 100 points going after into the continuation of Voltage League.
I wouldn't mind those 100 points into Voltage League as well, because that just takes so much pressure away from you going into the other two qualifiers. If you win the first one, you're basically like you're almost guaranteed to be in the top 12. It's going to be difficult for 11 teams, or I guess 11 teams wouldn't even be enough for 12 teams to jump you if you're already on 100, right? So even if in the next few qualifiers you get like 10 points, like you go out early because your first match is Besiktas and you're just not showing up on the day, you're still pretty much set to go into the Voltage League after these qualifiers. So definitely a lot more comfortable. You want to be taking those 100 points, because if you sit on 50 now, it gives you a good chance, but you still have to perform in the other qualifiers. So we'll see Team 300 back, but as for Fraternity, they're now in a prime position to just get themselves qualified into Voltage League off the back of this win just now.
Yeah, was definitely. But in the end, first, we're going to have to see who comes out on top. Whatever it may be, Team Fraternity with this victory, they did get themselves a nice 75 as well. Team 300 not leaving empty-handed completely with a nice 52. And with that, not a loser out of those three matches. But, of course, in the grand finale, it's all up to who wants more points. It's all up to who needs those points and who's able to collect them. It is a 5v5, and we're going to see who comes out on top, because I'm just wondering at this point what map is going to be in the possession of the final match. What's going to be the decider map?
Player number 3.
Clubhouse number 20.
Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of Clubhouse throughout the qualifier, but at least here on this stream, we've been rather lucky to have been casting with Team 300, and I'm very glad that they did their map vetoes the way that they ended up doing them, because we avoided quite a few clubhouses. Like, let me just tell you, you can check the standings on OPL if you are so inclined, but it was a lot of clubhouses. There was a few borders in there, which is also like very, very aggressive, very small map. A lot of teams probably enjoy that because it's more heavily focused around taking gunfights very quickly. You're trying to deny any map control, because the moment attackers get into the building, you have a tough time defending. So a lot of that and a lot of clubhouse. We managed to avoid most of it. We did get one clubhouse, but hey, casting a clubhouse every now and then, not so bad. The problem is when it gets to be the 5th of the day and you have 3 more to go. That's really when you start running into a bit of psychedelic problems, I would argue.
Yeah.
But hey, with Lair, whatever the upcoming map is, I hope if we do get to see the last game, I hope it's something like Skyscraper or a cafe. That's what you've been wishing for, Bob.
We have.
Doesn't really matter to me as long as it's another new map and we don't.
Come on, you gotta look.
See a third layer or something.
You gotta give one map. What would you love to see? Come on.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about Chalet the whole day, but we seem to have cursed it out of existence. We were like, Chalet is going to be the new Oregon. Chalet is going to be so popular. Everyone's going to play Chalet. And this entire day has just been like, we've watched 2 layers, and the entire rest of the bracket is just Clubhouse Border. So,
hello guys,
I don't know about that.
I'm back.
Hi, Fancy.
Oh, hey, man.
So yeah, let's talk about that. Another layer and another winner. So now Team 300 and Team Besiktas are the first two teams to win our 50 points, both of them. And yeah, this is going to be, you know what's funny? Because when before we started the qualifier, we said we might have 3 clubhouse, and then we said we might have three chalet, and then we said okay, maybe we'll have 3 something, and we kept saying 3 maps of anything, and we never had the idea of seeing layer, not not even not even once. And here we are thinking of the idea of having layer 3 times in a row. That I didn't think today was going to be the day that I would watch layer, not not even 2 times back to back, but even once. So that's something completely was way out of something I would think that would happen today. Also, I would have to say this was the match. This was like one. I think this is the only match I have seen this number of kills by that secondary of Dokkaebi. I've not seen anyone get this so many kills with the CZ ever. Like
Insane.
and picking this instead of the SMG 12 was something. It shows why. You can tell why now. Like seeing now, like you had questions at first, like why would you pick this instead of the SMG 12? But seeing him with the CZ and instead of the SMG 12, okay, I guess now we know why. But yeah, definitely. So last game, we'll see if it happens or not. We're still waiting for the confirmation, and we'll see who will get out of this qualifier. Yeah, so I think we have a forfeit from the side of psychopaths. So this means that Team Fraternity will be our first qualifier winners, and we will have them going with 100 points today.
Nice. I mean, I'm honestly a bit surprised. I was still hyped up to see what map we would get, how the teams would actually convey between each other. But if it's going to be a forfeit, a bit of sadness coming out since I really did get into mood with casting. It's been really fun these past matches. Ribbons, I think we can both agree, Lair has been absolutely stunningly fun. I think this is the most fun I've had casting in a while. But in general, well played to them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, let's take a look at the standings today, and we see how all the teams have been doing. And yeah, it seems like as we said, the first team is Fraternity is going to be with 100 points. Team Psychopaths will be taking the 75 points after that, and for the third and fourth position is going to be Besiktas and Team 300 with 50 points each. So yeah, this is our top 4 today for the first qualifier. And I want everyone to remember, of course, that we still have 2 more qualifiers. So still there is a lot of chances for every team to do a lot of wonders in the next 2 qualifiers, because I need to remind everyone that the top 12 from all over the qualifiers combined, all over the 3 qualifiers, are going to the Voltage League Season 4, and of course with the invited 4 that we will be discussing later when we get to the league itself. So guys, I have a question for you. So let's start with the reprints. We saw today 2 times back to back layer. What do you think of it? Do you think of it as a defense sided map or an attack sided map? How do you see it?
It's going to be a boring answer. I'm going to say it's too early to tell.
Okay.
It's too early to say. I think that in the current meta, if you leave the Monty open, and we did see that, at least in regulation, it was 2-4-2 halves on the attack. Yeah, I think it's attacker sided if you leave the Monty open, but that's not due to the map. I think that's due to the current meta, and that's due to just how powerful Monty is, especially in conjunction with the Dokkaebi. I think that Monty Dokkaebi right now is just some of the most powerful play you can have. What I love about Lair is that it's a map that's so intricate that you actually start to see the Tachanka come out more often. There's a few teams that have been playing that. I'm super excited about that because I may or may not have like 1,200 euros of equipment of a Tachanka cosplay sitting like right there off screen in the corner. That
Respect.
may or may not be a factor of why I love to see the Tachanka coming out. But
I cannot
I do
confirm
love to
nor
see.
deny.
I love to see that operator come out, and there's a map that's perfect for it. I never thought we would see a map that would favor the Shumicha, but it seems like this might just be the one. And other than that, once again, too early to tell. I think it's attacker sided because of the Monty. If Monty were banned out, we'd see a much different game. And I cannot wait for the game to make it, like for the map to make it into the game at the highest level of competition for the next major.
Yeah, definitely. And Bob, what do you think? Don't tell me same answer. Come on, spice it up.
Okay, I'll spice it up. Of course, if you take into account, let's say we don't take into account the Monty, so we get a bit more of a legitimate answer from these two rounds. I'm definitely going to say that contesting verticality as a defender, yes, I did just boop my seat down because it's getting a bit hard to hold my back. I feel like it's aching, but I feel like the verticality contestation is a bit difficult for the defenders. They're going to need to pour a lot of utility, let's say, into the upstairs operational room. You have an instant access. Just by going through one door, you have a window. You can start chucking nades, capital bolts, and the amount of utility that would need to be focused on that room specifically, Azamis, Wamais, Jaegers, Mutes, you name it, is absolutely absurd. And I think there's a decent bunch of places like it, which is making it a bit easier for the attackers to get that verticality, but at the same time, it's a map that gives a lot of opportunities for defenders to actually turtle inside. While though the main utility will be probably focused around some verticalities to defend it, to delay the attackings, once it actually comes down into the action of sight, defenders do have a decent sight. They have decent lineups. They have decent cover. We saw I forgot who it was. It was Mello. When he was in a 1v2, he had great cover behind those desks, and that's what really brings out Layer. So for starters, I think it's still, even with the Monty gone, I'm gonna say it's a bit just like 1% attacker sided, purely because of those verticals that really do help out clear those gadgets that help out the defenders inside. But in the end, 2 matches isn't enough to go with. I'm gonna be sticking to Reprince's answer just for now, just for a bit. But
fair enough.
just to spice it up, I think if the Boss G isn't brought out, it's attacker sided. If someone brings out the Boss G, of course it's unfair for the defenders. They have an OP gun on their side. So really, what do you have to deal with that?
Yeah, but I don't think anyone would bring the Boss G if we're not into the match and we're not spectating or commentating the match. I don't think anyone would bring the Boss G. I think they just bring it to tease us with bringing the Boss G, because in the end, as we saw in the other game when he brought the Boss G and they still played with the SMG and they still didn't use the Boss G. So yeah. That concludes our day today. Hopefully tomorrow. Do you guys think we'll see more of Layer tomorrow?
Hopefully.
Well, we'll see.
Three layers?
three layers? Break the record of today. Well, tomorrow we might actually have a grand finals if we don't have Psychopathas going into the finals just to forfeit again. So we have more maps. So, just saying the probability tomorrow is higher than today.
Never said zero.
Never say never.
Still, yeah, that's it's not zero, but it's always a percentage. So we'll have to wait for that tomorrow and see what maps we'll be playing. And for tonight, this will be it. And congratulations, of course, to everyone getting their points. And see you tomorrow, everyone.
must have went blind tonight, cause I swear that you out of sight. Man, I'm so up, I could be a pilot, and I just hope trying to catch a flight. So let me get the digits. I call right now if you with it. I seen 1,000 pretty girls in this room. $1, I've been looking for you. I've been searching, it's so hard to find a girl who's one of a kind. 'Cause being alone just isn't cool. I'll take 1,000 trips around the world just so I could find you, girl. 'Cause darling, I've been looking for you. Yeah, I'm looking for you.